Hey, everybody. Today we interview Dylan out of South Dakota. He had a TBI about 3 months ago and has been struggling with symptoms following that injury. He has a lot to share, a lot of nuanced details about what's helped him throughout his recovery, and some pitfalls on the scams and, for lack of a better word, charlatans out there that are capitalizing on people who have had injuries such as ours. Without further ado, let's jump to the video and listen to Dylan and what happened to him. Clear. Dylan, how you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy, man. You got the whole setup and everything.
What's that?
I said, watching a YouTube video and then like just seeing the setup, man. It's my first time doing it.
Yeah, well, likewise, dude. I've talked about kind of making a podcast or like a YouTube video kind of style structure with people that have gone through it too for quite some time. And I've always put it off. Like, I don't want to do it. I kind of want to distance myself from like that community, if you will. You know what I mean? From like a trauma triggering type shit. But like, can't leave you hanging, bro. And I can't leave all those other guys hanging. So I think it's good to just fucking do it, put it out there, help you, and spread the word, man.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna give it back too. Like if I can get through this.
You'll get through it, bro. You're in the dark. Well, how long ago did it happen, man? Like, are we talking like last week or like?
No,
What's it
I'm on week 12, so 3 months.
Okay.
So I'm literally on like, and that's probably the worst part of it, man. It's like that's like the threshold where people are like should be better by now.
Right.
You're just like, I'm not.
So what happened, dude? Like a big fall at work or?
No, so I was actually flying. So I live in South Dakota, but I own a company in Dallas, and so I actually flew in that day, and I had like neck pain on the flight. I don't know if it was related, but I literally flew in. The whole day was normal. I woke up at 4 a.m, and the whole room was spinning, and so my initial reaction is like, to stand up and like go to the bathroom because I was like what's going on?
For sure.
Because you're out of a deep sleep. So I went to the bathroom, sat down. I was like, okay, like you need to just go back to your bed and go to sleep. Like sleep this off. I couldn't even get to my phone,
Right.
So I tried to make my way to the bathroom to my bed. In that process, I passed out and landed on my head from a standing position. Luckily, it was carpet.
Okay.
So like that's cool. Like you would think that was like better.
Right. You would think.
Yeah, it wasn't better. Immediately after that, I was like frozen. It's like I lost in consciousness, woke up. I'm like, what do you do?
Right. Yeah.
I literally chilled for like 2 hours because it was 4 a.m. I waited till I knew my girl would wake up, which was like 7 a.m. in South Dakota. And I texted her. I'm like, hey, this happened. What should I do? And sent her photos of my face. She said, hey, go to the ER. Went to the ER and they said I had dehydration. And so they just started putting IV bags in me.
That helped?
Yeah, it helped immediately. So like I had the only symptom I had was like my neck was frozen. Like it was literally frozen shut. No
Which kind of makes
dizziness.
sense, gnarly fall, little whiplash maybe, like nothing too scary.
Right, yeah. And so like I have this workout app where I track, but like that next day I was in the gym. So like 5 days after I was in the gym consistently, no symptoms.
Right.
6 days after the fall, it all just started. Like the crazy the whole room was like spinning.
Damn.
I was literally just like chilling in a hot tub, watching TV. This is at my Dallas house. And like I just like froze. And I was like, oh shit, like something's not right.
Yeah.
And ever since that moment, it's been basically like a recovery of those symptoms. And so like even when that came on, I grabbed my parents basically or called my dad. He came over and I was like, hey, you need to take me to the ER. We go back to the ER. And then going through that process, you just realize that there's nothing they can do for you.
Totally. Yeah, the damage is done.
They don't.
They like, good luck, bro.
They put IV bags back in my arm, and I'm like, I don't.
I'm fucking good. I could drink water.
Yeah, I was like, I obviously learned my lesson 7 days ago, if that's what caused me to fall. And I was like, so I'm good on that aspect. I was like, but dude, I cannot see like straight. And so that just kind of started the journey. I don't know if you want me to go through like
I mean, really, whatever, dude. Yeah, there's no structure here. Just kind of two guys hanging out trying to talk about their story. Have you done a lot of shit like post that to get it all recovered, or what's it look like for you on the recovery side?
Dude, yeah. So I'm a business owner. So like,
right.
And having a 7-year-old child, like,
man, spread thin.
I have no choice. So it's almost like I'm constantly in a mode of like, you got to get better. Like, you got to beat this. Like, I got employees. Like, you have no option.
Yeah, yeah. You can't
you
fail.
got you got bills to pay.
Right.
And so yeah, so through this process, man, so like immediately they flew me back to South Dakota because they basically said, hey, this is going to be your point of recovery. And so they flew me back. The first 2 weeks, we actually had a family vacation planned, like horrible timing. But my girl forced me to go on that to this vacation in Florida.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
actually like thank her for doing that. Otherwise, I would have literally just like sat in my room.
Yeah, and spiraled. Yeah.
Yeah, we got on like 8 different planes. Like the whole time, I'm like popping lorazepam because we went to a doctor and he gave me a ton of like Xanax, lorazepam, and I'm literally just popping this stuff. And so the first doctor and physical therapist I saw said, "Hey, you have a vestibular issue,"
Mm,
because they said I had an eye nystagmus.
okay.
They were like, "Hey, here's a ton of VRT exercises. If you
Right.
do this 100 times a day, you'll beat this." And so
Yeah.
like, dude, doing this, I just started doing it for like 6 weeks. And then you're like, dude, like shit's not working.
What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, like,
I'm staring at my finger alone in my office. Like, come on.
dude, I'm brushing my hand or my teeth, my other hand. I'm standing on one foot. My eyes are closed. Like because if you get in that VRT world, you chase everything,
Totally.
all sorts of different movements. Because you're like, well, dude, like, what if I like, do this really quick?
Right. Yeah.
You know
Yeah. Yeah.
that. So that didn't work. So after that, that's where you start Googling like, what do you do next?
Right. Yeah.
And up here in South Dakota, you don't have like a great resource. So like,
Right.
I got the neck MRI. I've gotten a head MRI. I haven't gotten the results back for the brain MRI, but my neck MRI said I got like a bulging disc from the fall.
Okay.
I see a brain and spine guy this Thursday because it took 10 weeks to get into him.
Mm-hmm.
Not really sure how much help he's going to be at this point in the journey, but
He's like a
nonetheless,
neurologist, or what is he?
his title's just brain and spine. So I guess
Okay.
he
Kind of
just
like
takes care of both. But what I just got done with even before that is a functional neurologist.
well, how was that? Was that helpful or kind of scammy?
Uh Man, just in sake that he might find this video.
He did really good, actually. 5-star.
It's $4,000. I'm
Okay.
$4,000 poor, and that's like through the process of. So like what we did is it's 3 hours a day. We did
Okay.
it 5 days a week, but we did oxygen chamber therapy for an hour. He did low level laser therapy. And then he would just do a bunch of stuff like reflex stuff. And he'd be like, do you see that? Like your left arm's weaker than your right. And I'd be like, no.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So I just did a week of that. Dude, afterwards, I just felt defeated. That's where I reached out to you because I was
Right.
just like, dude, like, I'm
What the
not better. And then the at home, what really kind of like set me back is the at home exercises were just, I don't call them ridiculous. Like some are fine, but like, putting your face in an ice bath 4 times a day, like that's fine. Like I get it. It wakes you up. But like once someone gives you exercises with this, like you're glued to them. Like
Right.
that's all you know.
Totally.
And so like he's got me like rolling. He calls it like roll like a pig, but you lay flat and like you roll from your right to your left side. And you're
Are
like,
they
dude,
help- Have they been
no,
helping, or is it kind of like demoralizing? Because I remember when I was doing it, it kind of felt like almost like re-triggering. Because it's like I'm just staring at my pencil for like 30 minutes a day.
that's
Not
what
good.
that's what it's turning into. And
Yeah.
that's
And like,
where it's just like, dude, what the fuck? Like, what? Not to cuss. Like, what do you do?
yeah. No, I mean, speak freely, dude. Because it is very frustrating. Because you're like, how old are you? How old are you?
31.
31. Yeah, I'm 31 too. At the time, I was 25, and I was like, just turned 26, and I was like, I'm fucking 26. I'm staring at a pencil in my fucking bedroom, like, and I feel like shit, and like, you're just struggling, dude. And you're like, what do I do? So you just spend more money on therapists that promise the world and fail to deliver. What's kind of your lingering thing, man? Just kind of like dizziness, like kind of feeling a little wonky.
So there's 3. So like it's head pressure, and so
Okay.
that's like that's the noticeable one, right? Like you can
Yeah.
feel the pressure behind your eyes. The second is like kind of what you just said, wonky, like it's disoriented, like you're
Yeah.
not really present. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and that comes and goes, right? So like, I had 2 days prior that were pretty decent, and then I woke up this morning and like I had a bad first 5 hours, and I know it's a bad day because I'll go to my girl and I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, I cannot beat this. Like,
Can
I
see
don't.
she can she see it as well? Like if
She
you're not telling her, can she be like, "Oh, you're fucked up," or is it kind of like so minor that you have to tell her?
No, they're and that it's the worst part, man. But it's almost just ruining relationships. So she's just
Yeah.
kind of She's at like that tapped out point where she's just like, I don't know what to do. Like,
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't want to say she doesn't care. It's just like,
She
what
doesn't know
can
what to
she do?
do. Totally. Totally.
You know. So I don't even think she looks for it. I think her method is just like, let's just ignore it,
Right.
which is fine. And that's kind of where I wanted to get with you too. Is like that has been advice thrown at me where it's just like, dude, like the best medicine is just work out, go gluten free, dairy free, and just forget about it. And it's like easier said than done, but you
Totally.
know, that's like the lasting advice. So I kind of, I saw one of your videos too about testosterone replacement therapy. So I got my hormones checked literally this morning.
Did you get the
So
results back?
no, I get them back tomorrow.
Okay.
So
Cool. 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 Well,
I'm
hopefully
super
they're all.
pumped.
Yeah. Hopefully they're good, man. I'm on TRT right now, and it's great. I think everybody will feel better on TRT. I mean, let's be honest, it's a steroid, and who doesn't feel better on a steroid cycle? Even if it is like a little minor, you're going to optimize yourself and for like vigor and just kind of like just not caring and rolling with the punches. For me, when I got on TRT, I had undiagnosed sleep apnea. So that was crushing my hormone levels. So I do think if I could have really dialed in my sleep, I probably could have got my T to a level that is where it's at right now without kind of stabbing myself with needles. How's your sleep though, man? You sleeping pretty good? Are you waking up and being like, fuck, I'm tired?
I wake up about 3 to 4 times a night. So
Gotcha.
like
So pretty bad. Yeah,
that's been pretty well. Like I've kind of always woken up through the night. I haven't like
okay.
related sleep apnea. More like usually it's because I have to go to the bathroom. So it's like
Gotcha.
usually it's that. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like that's the connection. So there was I had zero sleep issues the first 6 weeks. And then I
Mhm.
went through a 2 week period of complete insomnia to the
Damn.
point of where like I was having crying episodes. I'll admit it. Like
Yeah, dude. It's cool. No shame, bro. Yeah, no judgment, dude.
yeah, total crying episodes where I'm just like,
Yeah.
what is going on? And
Insomnia is
so
debilitating, bro.
and
Yeah.
they threw like trazodone at me, like all sorts of these meds, like antidepressants, and I'm happy to say now I'm off of all that.
Cool.
That's
Cool.
cool.
Yeah.
I found what works for me is I take pot before I go to sleep, and
Nature's medicine.
yeah, and
It
I
works, bro.
literally
Yeah.
I literally force the doctor to give me it's like oxybutinin or something, but it suppresses the urge to urinate at night.
Oh, there
And
you
so
go.
I
Okay, cool.
kind of played my own doctor on that one.
It's been helping. It's kind of getting like more restful sleep.
It did in the beginning, and now it's like I'm still waking up like 3, 4 times.
Oh shit.
So that's that. Honestly, though, like it doesn't. I don't wake up and feel like like an insomniac. So I
Gotcha.
feel we did like the whole Apple Watch thing. Like I'm getting 7 hours of sleep. Like
Okay, and it's a deep.
it's mostly in that like light sleep period,
Mm-hmm.
but it says that you're okay. It
Yes.
says you're
Yes.
80%. So I don't want to know what 5% is.
Right. Yeah. If Steve Jobs thinks I'm good, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
One
So
thing, dude, and I mean, it might be worth it since you're kind of like checking out these random alternative methods to regaining that 20% is getting a sleep study done. And that was a big missing piece to the puzzle for me. I remember when I had a sleep study done, I didn't think I had sleep apnea. It was like 2 years into it. I was already on TRT at the point, and I'm like, this is as good as I'm gonna get. But I was very much like you, like, dude, I'm like good, I'm functioning, I can, do shit and make money, but I feel like I'm missing something. And then I did a sleep study, and I have it's such minor sleep apnea that some doctors won't even classify it as diagnosable sleep apnea. But I benefit tremendously from wearing what I call a scuba mask and just strapping that thing on my face every night, take some extended release melatonin, and just rack out, dude. And I sleep so good. And ever since that, I've been substantially better in terms of like focus, mood, libido, et cetera, et cetera. Um, so I would say that's going to be huge. And also, dude, like man to man, go to therapy, bro. Because if you really think about it, this is some pretty traumatic shit. And I still have that dizziness, and I hope yours goes away. You're only 3 months in, so it could go away. I'm 5 years in, and it's still here for me. And it's very intermittent. But what happens to me with the dizziness is I don't know what the trigger is because I don't have it all the time, but it'll pop up. I'll get all dizzy, and then I'll get in my head about it. And then I'll start thinking about being dizzy. And I swear to God, I feel like my thoughts make me even more dizzy. And then it just becomes this spiraling thing versus being like, okay, I'm dizzy. And then, if I get distracted with my fiance or the dog or whatever it may be, it seems like the dizziness subsides. So I don't know if that's like therapy for you or whatever it is, but I go to therapy regularly, and like I've found it pretty pivotal to kind of closing that door a little bit. You know what I mean? Because it was pretty traumatic. Let's be honest, what happened. It was pretty fucking gnarly. You're 31, you had a scary medical thing in the middle of the night, and now you're shook and it still affects you. Like that's dude, I should have done it years ago, bro. Years ago, man. Because I was very much like, I'm good, like I'm fine, I'm okay. Like I don't need it. I'm a man. You know what I mean? Like,
But I've had a therapist since week
oh,
5. I want to say week
dude,
5 or 6.
you're not messing around. Has that been
Yeah,
helping?
no, dude. I found like because I was on these like Reddit forums, and those are really toxic. But because
Super
it's
toxic.
literally you only go to Reddit if you're like
Hella
in a
desperate.
very dire.
Yeah.
Like there's no one on there that pauses like I fucking beat it. They're
Yeah.
all like this, like they're all like working each other up. And so I
Yeah,
found
dude.
this guy though that said he showed like a cognitive behavioral therapy article and how it's like proven scientifically to help post concussion syndrome, or it's
Mm-hmm.
really PPPD is what they call it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, I read that and I was like, all right, well shit, I don't want PPPD, so I'm gonna go get a therapist. And he's been great. I actually, so this is weird, but I actually had like 3 different therapists.
Oh, dude. You're tasting the rainbow, bro.
Yeah. So like one was like insurance covered it, so I was like, this is sick, it's free.
Yeah, it's free.
You know, she was the
Yeah.
worst.
Classic.
Yeah, the second one just didn't, dude, I don't know, just kept asking about like my mom issues.
Just kind of
Uh,
sucks, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah, this last one, he's been pretty solid. But once we worked through it, he's been with me through my journey. I see him about once a week, but now it's kind of like it's almost like he just doesn't know advice or anything.
Presume.
So it's more just like now talking about, you know, well, how's your work going? And I'm like, well, it's pretty shit. you know, so it's they try they try like the grounding techniques, the mindfulness handouts. I mean,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me, dude, it really doesn't work. I mean, for me, like exercise is therapeutic.
Okay.
So like that is something. It's doing stuff like that. It's playing with my son, right? So like doing those activities, like from a therapy standpoint, like I don't feel like those are any issues. It's just I feel like it's like that desire to beat it. It's like that,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Totally.
that's the worst part because like even when I just told you, so like I've been up since 7. I've done a testosterone test. I've had like 3 Zoom meetings for work. I've done
Yeah.
estimating for work. I think I had like a doctor's appointment this afternoon. Uh, and the dude, yeah. So like, it's just, here we are. Like, and even before this, I was on YouTube figuring out how to beat it. And that's the hardest part, I think, of this is like either patience, needing to learn how to accept that. But it's also the fact too, like even talking to you, somebody who's 5 years into it, it's just like, that's very demoralizing to
Yeah.
know
Like,
that.
for sure, dude. For sure. And I think it's definitely one of those things where it's like, if you're chasing 100%, like chasing who you were before, your memories are fictitious. Like you're looking at it through a rose gold lens, and you're never going to be able to hit the goalpost. And that's something that I've had in my mind because I'll be fucking dialed in, like locked in, razor focused, like tier one, crushing it on all fronts and feeling really good. And then I'll get in my mind about like, oh, but am I as good as I was? And then it'll like, it's not like subconsciously like, tear myself down or anything. But like, I think those thoughts, am I as good as I was, are nothing but toxic and like will ultimately undermine your progress, undermine you, your relationship, et cetera, man. Cause it's like, you can't compare yourself to who you were. Cause even free of any kind of head trauma, you're never going to be the person you were yesterday, for better or worse. So I think it's really just trying to find ways to like accept where you're at and like and I know it's like, dude, I hear you, bro. Like I've been there, man. I'm a lot further into it. Like it sucks, right? You don't want to talk to some random guy on the internet and be like, accept it. You're like, fuck that. I'm gonna get it back. And like, I hope you do. You're 3 months in, bro. Like you may, right? And you probably will. Like realistically, where I was at 3 months in, dude, I was so fucked up, bro. I was like contemplating suicide. I could not work. I could not have sex with my girlfriend. My dick didn't work. I couldn't fucking sleep. I spent like $40,000 going to doctors, and they're all like, "You're okay." And I'm like, what do you think? You think I'm just doing this for fun? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Well, that's a big part of reaching out too, is like, you don't like to get the comparison game either, because it's like everyone is so different. Like I totally get that. But like that is what I wanted to know, is like, hey, week 12, like what were you going? Because like to me, like the suicide depression, like that connects with me, because that was like week 6 and
Yeah,
before.
for
But
sure.
like that, it's almost like it comes in stages, right? Like that seems to go away.
Yeah,
You still have the depression, because like for me too, like it's being able to fly to Dallas and
right.
see my company. I don't even know if they still know I own it.
You still around?
Like only like my side of the team sees it, and like luckily, like you know, I have a good support system and like who's running it right now, so like that's cool. But yeah, no, that was a big thing, and I appreciate you answering that. It's just how you were at 12 weeks, because you just don't know. Like,
Dude, I was so worse off at 12 weeks than where you are. And I'm like, I think as good as I'll be, right now. Maybe it'll get better in the long term as I find different supplements, etc., or kind of go to therapy and become more okay with where I'm at. But like, dude, I was super fucked up at week 12. Like zero energy, really anxious, incredibly unconfident, insecure, fearful. Like I'm about to cry thinking about it. I was in the darkest place of my life. And it hit so hard, dude, because I was on the cusp of being a multi-engine commercial pilot, something I had worked at for years. And then the brain cyst happened. And I was like, that's okay. Like, that's fine. Let's fucking take care of it and we'll pivot. And then got it taken care of, and then got injured in the neuro ICU because I mean, I don't know if you watched the videos or not, but
I did.
like what the fuck is that? Some interior design choices? And I'm
Dude, that's why I connected. I was like, dude, shit, this guy was a pilot. Like I've spent literally 11 years building my business from the ground up.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
many obstacles. Like finally made it to where like I have money, I have security. Like I
Right.
fucking made it. Like and then
Yeah,
it's like this
totally.
hit me, and I'm just like, well, what the like, dude? Like,
What the
is there like you're like, is there a God? Like,
right? Why? Why is this happening to me? Like I made it. I deserve the good life.
dude, that's like the hardest thing to cope with, is because like it
Yeah.
just doesn't make sense. But yeah, I mean, no, I get life's not fair and all that too. So
Well, I mean, getting it, I'm like getting it. I don't think you'll ever get it, right? I still get upset about it, especially when I see like people that are like noticeably way more unhealthy than me. Like,
oh yeah, dude, like when we watch,
dude, that I
if
don't.
you
It
watch like
triggers,
my
bro.
600-pound life,
Yeah,
like
dude.
I
And
got
they're
a
like,
perfectly
they're
good brain.
completely
Like,
fine. Yeah, like no blood pressure issues, and I've got high blood pressure, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, what the fuck is this?
dude, I don't know. That's very triggering to me too. And then like what's also like, I guess now I relate, but like I've noticed more like crippling people, like older people eating their food slower.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was just like, fuck, I can relate to that for some weird reason.
Well, you feel like you feel a little disabled, right? And they are that too. And I think it's like you gotta look at the upside here. And I think it's at 31, you've had the chance to have a reality check and have a reminder that you're not immortal, that you're gonna die, and that it could happen tomorrow, and that you don't know what's gonna happen. You could have a stroke and be fucked up for the rest of your life, but you're not. And I think for me, it's pivoted away from, 3 months in, like, fuck my life, like how am I doing this, to just a much deeper appreciation for like the minor things in life. And like, will I ever be as successful as I would have been without this? I don't know, man. I know I'd be a lot further along at 31 than I am now, but that's just the way the cookie crumbled. That's the way life panned out for me. And I can either be bitter or I can be happy about it. And I think that's something for me. Therapy's really kind of helped kind of shift the narrative, and not talk therapy. Talk therapy is like fucking gossip, but like there's something called EMDR. Recommend you give that a Google or talk to your therapist about it. It's
EMDR?
EMDR. It stands for eye movement desensitization reprocessing. And it's literally, you can do it remotely. You literally watch a dot go like from the side of your screen to the side of your screen. Like you watch that, something happens to your subconscious where like weird, repressed, dark thoughts pop up. And like you talk, like, and you just, it's like self-guided therapy with eye therapy mixed in. And dude, fucking mind blowing, bro. Some of the most profound thoughts I've ever had in my life were from EMDR, sitting in this very office, just like watching a dot go back and forth on the screen and like talking about how, how I feel like re-triggered because as a child I didn't feel good enough. And then I finally made it and God ripped it. And then God gave me this brain cyst and then I was able to beat the brain cyst. And then some interior design choice was like, fate brought me back down. It was like, no, bitch, you deserve to be fucked up. And like struggling with that for a little bit. Like, I was like, where did that come from? You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, dude, dude, I get it completely.
yeah. And it's like,
I'm assuming you do yours virtually too for this therapy, right?
Yeah, I go to BetterHelp, man. But like you, I went through like fucking 12 therapists to find a good one.
I don't think my therapist can do this. Well, maybe you could. I'll ask.
Yeah, if they can't, then find one that can, because that was pretty helpful so like wrap my head around this. But like truthfully, bro, if you're only 3 months in, man, I'd say get off Reddit and just calm down and give it time. Get a sleep study, go to EMDR, listen to your girl. And like if you're still feeling wonky at 6 months, re-engage. But like you're better now than where you were month 1 and 2, yeah?
I was frozen the first, like I was on a couch, like you couldn't even talk to me. Like I wouldn't even watch TV. I was just like staring at a wall in a chair.
Damn.
This is a lot better.
Good. Yeah, you seem like you're functioning well, man.
Dude,
like,
and that's the hardest part too, because now it's almost like everything's invisible, right? Because it's like everyone's just like, oh, you're good, man. Like, let's go have a beer. And it's like, well, it's not like that, man. Because like even now, like I'm chasing this like glute. I read this book called Brain Save, but the dude gave it to me during like oxygen therapy, and the whole basis is for 6 weeks, like you go gluten free, dairy free, and you just work out a shit ton, you sweat a shit ton, and then you're fixed. It's basically the premise of it.
Yeah, how to work out in practice.
So I'm just like, all right, dude, like let's do that, like and then like take gluten out, which it doesn't really feel like that's making a change. And like that was a big part too. Like at what part of this journey do you just form peace and not chase like the cognitive effects, the mind eye? Like I've had meetings with both of them, but man, both of them don't like cognitive effects just seems like 100% a sales pitch. Like
yeah, I went. It's not worth it.
It just seems like it's meant for old people, little kids, or overweight people to get them to move. Which
I feel like it's a very unethical business model. They're pitching to the desperate people and it's their last hope. I fucking spent $12,000 there, dude, and I do not feel any different because of it. But I know I can do it.
Then the guy told me, he goes, if this one doesn't work, he goes, then you should have done the 2-week, and that's how we know for 26 grand. And I'm just like,
if that doesn't work, to the 3-week, bro.
And I told my girl, I was just like, dude, I should have told him I'm a business owner. Like,
yeah, the price went up by 5K, dude.
Yeah. Well, and I was like, so my girl was like, well, let's just go get the functional MRI. And I'm like, but what use is that information to us? Like, what? Really like, we know it's fucked up. Like, what?
Yeah.
Who's gonna read it?
Totally. One thing you could also try. So EMDR, huge win there. Something called neurofeedback. Have you heard of that?
Dude, there's some girl here locally. I messaged her.
Yeah.
I don't think I got it from your video to do neurofeedback, but I think I watched your video. You did it like 3 sessions.
Yeah.
And then do it. So like that's been one where she said I can get scheduled. She recommends like 16 sessions once a week or twice a week or something like that. It's like $3,000. The reviews on it are just really bad, really scattered.
Right.
Like you have people that are like, holy shit, this like cured me. And then you have people going, I literally took a nap and
I feel the same.
Yeah. Or
I'm just poorer.
Then you got scary ones that are like, this shit fucked me up. Like it's like,
no way it's fucking me up, dude. Yeah, calm down. I think that's the hard part about this recovery is like you don't know what's going to work for you.
And you chase.
And it's like chasing the dragon, man. You're never gonna catch it. But yeah, I mean, I went to Mind Eye Institute too. Huge fucking gimmick, in my opinion. Huge gimmick. You
You
can
weren't
find
you had one video where like you were into him, and so that's
yeah.
what I was curious about too. Did that phased away?
Yeah, it went. Well, I mean, for how much money they're charging, man, it's pretty fucked up. And I feel like you can get similar results from it's a vision or an optometrist that's got a license called a FCOVD. Google that, and that's an optometrist that also can give you corrective lenses that are going to effectively do the same thing Mind Eye is going to do. It's going to cost you $200 instead of $4,000. And so I remember I went to the Mind Eye Institute, spent like $6,000 there, and had my first glasses. Came back, had another second set, and I was like, "I feel the same, guys. Like I feel the same."
Dude, I like
And like in between that and Cognitive FX, I was like, you guys are just preying on the weak, man, preying on the injured. Like this is fucked up.
dude, I appreciate you sharing all. Like, I don't know if I'd be in your shoes, like where I got robbed of all this money, didn't fix me. Like, I would just be so bitter. And that's
I was, man.
you're handling it very well.
Yeah. Shout out therapy.
Dude, I'm still seeing that functional neurologist. Like, I did another week of like oxygen chamber therapy because I do believe in like that. Like,
Yeah, that looks legit. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm seeing him, and I went in there today, and he goes, "How we doing? We all better?" I'm like, "Fuck no, man." I was like,
Yeah.
"What?" I was like, I was having a panic attack in the car. He was like, "Oh, you're not doing the exercise." I'm like, "I'm rolling like a pig. I'm looking at the parts. Like, I'm putting my head in ice. Like, what are you talking about?"
Yeah. Oh god. I feel like there's such weird exercises too. And like
Dude,
it doesn't you don't want to do that a long day at work. You want to go home and stare at your fucking pencil and roll like a pig.
dude, none of them make sense. And then
No,
like
bro.
I met with a concussion expert, like Mark Hasig or something like that. We
Okay.
did it virtually because he's in Arizona, but he told me to get this like motion guidance, like it's like a butterfly thing you put on your wall, and then you put a laser in your head and you like track through it, and you just do that a bunch.
Yeah.
And so I got it, spent all the money on it or whatever, and like I was like, I called him back. I'm like, dude, this is like super easy. He goes, oh, you just need to now do it with balance. So I got a balance board.
Yeah. Okay.
Balance on like a wheel. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, dude, I could balance for 20 minutes. 20 minutes shaking my head. And I'm like, dude, like,
This ain't working, brother.
we're,
Yeah.
we're good, dude. Like, I'm actually like a professional surfer now.
Yeah. You shred some waves, dude.
Yeah,
I
I'm like,
practicing in South Dakota.
yeah, dude. He goes, oh, well, well, stop doing it. He goes, that means you beat it. And I was like, well, why do I still feel like shit? Like,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I even told you this, like I was curious if you have this too, but one of the wilder symptoms I've had that nobody even dabbles in is I hear a static noise behind my right eye only when I move.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's the side of my head that I hit.
You hear static
Yeah, only when I move.
only when you move. Like TV static?
It's no like my eye static. It's very weird, dude. It drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. I have fucking no idea. Has your vision changed at all?
No, so like I went to go see an optometrist last week. They dilated my pupils. They're like, dude, like green light, you're all good. I'm like, fuck, man. I really thought you could just.
I know. Yes, that's such a weird position to go to a doctor and be like, "Tell me something, please." Like, don't tell me I'm good.
Well, and we're hoping like the brain MRI shows something for that because like everyone I've talked to, like this is not a normal thing.
Yeah.
And so like we're just trying to figure out like why, and also too like I didn't have this like for the first 6 weeks. This came on during the insomnia period, and it just hasn't gone away.
That's crazy.
And so, like, out of all the weird stuff that I've gone through, like, I got radiating nerve pain through my arm from this disc that I'm going to get a cortisone shot for. So, like, thank God, like, that's coming up.
Yeah, yeah.
Out of all the symptoms, this static noise is by far, like, the one that you're just like, is even when you're trying not to think about this shit.
Right.
Like the second you fucking hear that and you're on the treadmill, you're like, fuck, dude. Like, I could have my music playing so loud and I could feel it moving. And I'm just like, this.
Fuck this. Yeah. That's rough, bro. Yeah, I've never heard of such a thing, man. Static behind the eye. So what caused your fall? Were you like drunk or something, like hungover and ate shit? Or just, like...
The worst part is like super sober, super motivated, like just being a good student of life.
Yeah.
I think I went to bed at 9.
Not fucking even early, even went to bed early. Like,
Like my workout routine is like wake up at like 5 in the morning because if I'm in Dallas, like I have to like go to this other gym. So like the whole day was like scripted. It was a Monday.
okay,
Like dude,
you're
like
getting after it.
nothing
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
They the other theory they have is there's like a crystal, I guess, that like can get dislodged and go horizontally in your inner ear and
Your
cause you to
otolith.
pass out.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, dude, that's it. That's the whole.
And it's like, have you woken up since then and had the same symptoms? Because like I'd be afraid it'd happen again. And not to like put any scary thoughts in your head, but I'm sure you've thought about it.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, the trauma of going through like trying to get better has taken my mind completely away from it.
Cool. It surpassed it. The trauma.
Yeah, so like that honestly is so minor if that happens again in my mind. Because if that
Yeah.
comes on again, I'm just gonna lay down.
Right. That's a
Like,
good idea. Yeah.
like I'm not gonna stand up.
Right.
It hasn't happened since, and like that's the weirdest part, man. Because like everyone was like, "Well, dude, if it was dehydration, you went to bed at 9 and happened at 4, that's a really big lapse in like what happened. Like
Right.
you would feel it more immediate, right?
Yeah.
And we did track it to where I didn't have like any water that day. But like, dude, you hear stories people in the desert for like 10 days.
Yeah. They're not passing out. Yeah.
They're not passing out. So like
Right. I doubt
that
it.
is that's in my brain like a really small part. I'm sure through therapy in like 10 years they'll pull that back out. But
Yeah. Bring it out when you're 40.
yeah, but like that shit does not scare me, man. Like the shit that scares me is, these lasting effects. And it's like for me, it feels like just trying to get rid of one at a time. Like the nerve pain, like shoot me with cortisone. Let's get over that. Maybe handling like this brain stuff isn't so bad, you
Yeah.
know? Maybe the static noise in my fucking eye. Like I've been told like to wear headphones for 24 hours a day for 7 days. Like, okay, well,
Just live in VR. Get the little Apple headset, bro.
before I Rain Man it for 7 days.
Yeah. Let's go, dude. Go be a monk, man. Real silent meditation retreat.
Dude, I just the
I don't know if
fucking
that's gonna
journey's
help, man.
wild, dude. I don't know
Yeah.
how many people have reached out to you about this, man, but like
It's been a
it's
lot,
just
dude. And that's kind of why I put this shit out there because it's like I don't want to do this all the time, but like if we can have a 30-minute conversation, it can help people. It's worth it. You know what I mean? Because it's unfortunately not going to go away. One thing though, so that sleep study, dude, I'd recommend, and the reason that's kind of coming out of left field is when I was in the thick of it doing research like 8 months in, I'm like, bro, I'm fucking fucked up. Like something has to change. And I found a study put on by the VA that was talking like 65% of veterans returning from Iraq and Afghanistan that had a TBI and still had symptoms. I think it was 6 months post injury. They had sleep apnea. So like it's statistically significant. And it's like if you have insurance, it's a free test. So that couldn't hurt.
yeah, no, I weirdly enough, dude, that was one of the places I went to.
Mm-hmm.
They are the ones who referred me to this functional neurologist though.
Okay.
They are the ones who said, no, you don't need a sleep study.
Oh my God, of course.
Go pay 5 grand, 4 grand to this guy. Uh he's a great dude, man.
No,
Nothing
I
wrong
know.
with
He means well, right? Yeah, I know.
he
Yeah.
he really feels like he can fix me. And that has fucked with my mind so much because it's just like you go to this guy every day that's like super determined that he can like crack the case.
Yeah.
And then so you just kind of like buy into it, man. And you're just like, for me, I just wonder though, like how long before you just put all this to bed and you just go, dude, mentally the placebo effect is taking over more so than anything right now.
And I kind of think that's going to have more upside than, for me, had more upside than the functional neurologist did. Because I also went to a functional neurologist and spent 5K for a week and then felt the fucking same. And I'm like, man, like, so all in, I've spent a down payment on a house chasing this shit.
That's
Yeah.
sickening.
It's disgusting, dude. And like these industries, like I know they're full of people that like mean well and are way smarter than I, but like it's just, I struggle with the morality of it. And if you're not getting any ROI out of it right now, I don't know if it's coming, man, but I'm also no doctor, right? But it didn't come for me. And I know where I'm at, and I don't know what your financial situation's like, but I know I'd rather have the 30K than those treatment modalities. But then the tricky thought with that is if you're never going to know. if that was that the missing piece. And that's like the fucking part that like I don't know if it's their marketing or like just kind of being in this headspace and having access to the internet. But like that shit just drove me crazy and pushed me to go do it. And now I'm like, fuck, like, was the juice worth the squeeze?
Well, not that's the worst part too, because like financially, that's really not the concern for any of this. It's like, dude, I will. Luckily, like I got hit when I'm 31. You got hit when you're 25, 26.
Right,
Like,
different. Yeah.
my life is established to where it's like you have money that you won't miss.
Right. Yeah,
So like
yeah.
that's worse, man. Is because these people are like they know that. Like it's like they can sense that shit. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not like spending the money. It's because that's what it wasn't like the functional neurologist. That wasn't the bad feeling I had. The bad feeling I had was the end of therapy and just going, oh, this is it. Like
This is the final product.
this is yeah. Like he sends you out the door. They dismiss like every other doctor, and then you're just like, fuck, man. Then you go back to the internet and you're just like, well, what next? And it's just
Yeah.
you get in that loop, and I see the end of that loop in sight because there's luckily, I found kind of what you already referenced. So
Hmm.
I feel like I don't have to go through the spiral that you went through. I'm
No,
not.
yeah, you don't. Yeah.
I don't think you had YouTube that was detailing cognitive effects at your time, right?
Wasn't no. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're in the peak of their uh, ability,
Their marketing. Well, yeah, 13K a week. I'm sure they got a lot of marketing dollars.
dude. And there were the success stories that they published, man. They're all people that just doesn't look like they were even moving. Like
Right.
like I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's I don't know, man. 13K. I mean, even if you have a lot of money, I mean, it's still like I would say taking your family to the Caribbeans would have a better ROI than going there for a week for like your mental health and like just being okay with it. Because even if you don't, like, you're 3 months in, bro. So like, chill. You're gonna be fine, dude. You're gonna be cool.
Well, that's what I have heard too, and that's I don't know if you heard this in the journey, but it's like I've heard 6 months to a year it could just take that course,
Yeah.
and like 3 months you're still kind of just like rushing it a bit. Like, do you feel like that's really what you saw through your journey?
Oh yeah, totally, dude. Yeah. 3 months I was like sprinting and I was like, I gotta get better now. And then when it didn't happen, like right now I got depressed and then that led to suicidal thoughts, et cetera, et cetera. But like zooming out, it takes a while, dude. And it's not like you just injured your arm where you can just, go to PT, work it out, and you'll be fine. Like you injured your brain, like you injured your computer, the hardware on it. And it takes time to get that shit straightened out. And the brain's powerful and you're young and it will heal itself. And if you're a reader, there's a great book called My Stroke of Insight. And if you're not a reader, she also did a TED talk, so you can watch that on YouTube. But My Stroke of Insight is about a Harvard trained neuroanatomist who had a massive stroke at like fucking 38 or some shit and went from like being a Harvard scientist to being spoon fed in her mom's basement in a matter of weeks and was able through just sheer grit and getting after it in the span of like 5 years was able to fully recover and is now back teaching at Harvard.
Oh
And she
shit.
had like you're not that messed up, bro.
Yeah,
You
no,
know
I,
what I mean?
no one's
Like,
feeding
let's
me.
have some perspective, my guy.
Yeah. No, I had one the other day. I was complaining. This is just a good story, but I was complaining to my girl because it was my son's birthday. We took him to this place called Thunder Road. It's like a
Okay.
Dave and Buster's.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was literally having a meltdown. I was like, dude, I'm gonna have this forever. Oh my god. I shit you not, a group of blind people walk through the door with their sticks to do bowling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the? I'm like, dude, that's like,
Good luck, man. Yeah, bro.
I
It could
mean,
be
how many
worse,
times have you
dude.
seen blind people go bowling? Like, never.
Never. I didn't even know that they did that. Like, I'm good. I'm happy they're getting out, but I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, dude. So like I'm like, and I was out, I'm using that story because like that's just perspective, dude. Like it could be so much
Sure, man.
worse. And like I know that, and like that's the part of kind of like accepting this, right?
Totally, man. Totally. And like, I think even if you're never back to who you air quote were, being upset about that is going to cause more damage than that missing 5-10%. You
For
know what I
sure.
mean? Yeah.
That I already feel it. Like
Right.
I've spent the whole night instead of hanging out with my family, just YouTubing.
Yeah. Getting in your head, man, and like spiraling. And like, I fucking did that too. And like, I know we had different situations, but like with me and my surgery, like I felt off, and then that led me to the internet, and then the internet. I don't want to say it radicalized me, but it's easy when you're alone and you're symptomatic and no one's helping you to go to like extreme, scary places. Super easy.
Dude, you just constantly don't accept that there's like nothing surgically that can fix you.
Right. You're like, it's
Like,
2024, bro. Just AI it. Just fucking plug me in, man.
dude, I just got these like my girl's an influencer, but she just got these like eye massage goggles just free given to her.
Let's
And
go.
I'm like, how the fuck do we have these?
Yeah.
Like we can't fix my brain. Like, are you shitting me? Like,
Right. Yeah.
so yeah, no, I greatly appreciate this insight. I mean, the sleep study, the MDR therapy, I haven't looked into either of those two. The neurofeedback I've been on the cusp of doing, but the functional neurologist is the one who talked me out of it.
I think it's worth pursuing. It's super like minimal to low invasive. You take a fucking nap and you wake up and you're like, wow, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't work and you can move on. But for me, I had some pretty profound impacts. And
did
I
you
mean,
did you go back to it? Or
I did it probably, I mean, I only did it like 3 or 4 times. And then I felt like the return started to be kind of diminishing. It felt like the first time had a pretty like pronounced impact. The second one kind of diminished, and the third one even like the less. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna move elsewhere. But my money was also a lot tighter then than it is now. So I might re-engage it just to kind of see if I can kind of polish it up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, hands down, dude, for me it was the biggest thing that got me out of the woods was TRT and treating my sleep apnea. That was my issue, right? Maybe yours is different, but um yeah, that the fucking TRT saved my life, dude. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I went there today, and I mean, I have all the symptoms of it, like low sex drive, like low energy, fatigue. Like they said, when you get a brain injury, you can knock it out. But they also said they won't prescribe it if the test results come in where they're above like a certain threshold.
Hmm.
And so I guess that's just waiting for the results to like see where they are. I don't know.
Right.
You get it illegally at that.
Yeah. No, I would not do that. I would not recommend it. I mean, there's all sorts of clinics you can get it from. If like, because I had to kind of shop around for it too, because my levels were. I mean, the range is so wide, dude. Like, I'm sure you've like looked online where the range is like fucking 300 all the way up to 1100. Um, but it's weird though, because it's like if you're an 85-year-old man and you're at 1100, that's probably not good. Or if you're a 31-year-old guy and you're all the way at 300, that's also probably not good. But you're normal. So like MDs, their hands are tied a little bit. So I mean, if you do want to pursue that route, you can go to a like a vitality clinic, like whatever town you're in, just type in that town name and then vitality clinic, and usually there's like a spot for like keeping men young and things of that nature.
I found one that like will play ball. Like that's the one
Cool.
I'm at right now. So
Yeah.
the testing looks legit, but like they hit me like you're in one of those whenever like it's like the dentist office pitch where like the doctor leaves and then like they're like, okay, well for like 10 crowns it'll be 10 grand. Like you ready to go?
Right. Yeah, they got a sales pitch. They got a
Yeah,
sales
they
pitch
did.
to close you.
I was gonna ask you about HGH too because they tried to put that on me.
HGH.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I haven't taken any of that.
Okay.
So what I do, I'm just on testosterone. I was taking testosterone and is it HGH or HCG?
HGH peptides.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's different. Yeah, I'm not on that, but I've heard good things, I guess. From like a bodybuilding stance, I didn't know there were any kind of like neurological benefits, but
Dude, yeah, it's so easy to sell me on shit now, man.
yeah, you're like working out. You're like, I mean, I guess I got it for medical reasons.
Well, they're like, it's only 700 for 6 months, and it's like $100 a month. I'm like, but yeah, throw it in. Like what?
Yeah, just swipe the card, bro. Throw it in. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, dude. No big deal.
Let's go.
So I wanted to ask you about supplements, man. And I know you probably got a life to live too, so I can't keep you too much. But
No worries. Man.
I'm taking like 20 fucking supplements, like to the point where it's almost exhaustion.
Right.
Is that normal? Did you go through that?
I went through that phase too. Yeah, I was taking everything under the sun. I even listened to a Joe Rogan podcast, and he had someone on called Mark Gordon, who was all about TBI recoveries. Even went to him and spent a fuckload with his supplements, and didn't really feel any different, man. To be honest, all I take right now is just fish oil, vitamin D, ginger. and then like a super green supplement, and that's it.
Okay.
I kind of like trimmed it down because I was taking all sorts of weird shit like fermented grass from the Himalayas.
That's my pantry right now, man.
It's like a weird like Amazon shopping cart. You're like, where the hell did I get this stuff?
Oh, dude, and the nutrition place I get it at, like she like knows me as like the brain injury guy, and so she'll just every time I go in there, she just tells me scarier stories of how
let's go.
People she knows that don't recover, and I'm just like, oh, fucking
shut the fuck up, lady. I don't want to hear that.
Dude, like I'll be like, I think the last time I said, I was like, well, I hope to never see you again, because like she goes, oh, you'll be here the rest of your life. I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, we are not friends. Do not talk to me.
Fucking getting chirped by a $10 an hour lady, just like, but that shit gets you, man. Like I'll come home and just be like, oh fuck, man, like this is crazy.
Well, that's like that therapy component. And if talk therapy ain't hitting, man, there's other modalities. But like people say that shit, or you read stuff online and it'll come in your mind in the middle of nowhere. Like I used to smoke weed pretty regularly, and then I started getting panic attacks. And like when the panic attacks started, I had like this couple month period where I had like a panic attack a month over like something neurologically related. And I would just be like driving my car. And then I remember this like one study I read this one time, and then it would be like complemented with this like scary Reddit post, and then my own fear mongering, and then like fucking panic attack. So all these like haters and naysayers that say you won't be like who you were, or you won't be as good as you once were, like fuck them, dude. Like look at who they are. They're fully functioning and they're still inadequate and not striving for the stars. And here you are, ate shit, got beaten up, and you're still getting after it, and you're still fucking paving forward, man. And that takes courage and that takes grit. That's a fire a lot of people don't have. So I think you deserve some acknowledgement for that, man. So I would say just next time you see that lady, man, just I don't know, throw something at her, dude. Throw some fish oil. Get out of here.
Dude, I mean it's at the point where you just change locations probably. Like go to
just go to Dallas, bro. Buy your shit down in Dallas.
Well, the worst part too is like after the functional neurology, he told me to take this like thing called Axio, which is like a brain. It's by like this company called Vantage Life.
Okay.
It's like I come home and I'm like, I told my girl, I was like, hey, he says if I take this for 6 months, like I'm cured. My girl was like, I'm in pyramid marketing. Like that's a pyramid marketing company.
I know the pitch.
And I was like, dude, my heart like melted. I was like, are you fucking kidding? I just paid you $4,000 and you're gonna try to get nickel and dime me on this. And I looked up the Axio product, and it's like, it's the same shit that you find in a multivitamin. I'm like, right. Dude, like,
yeah, come on.
If you didn't have oxygen therapy, man,
I would not be coming here, man.
Dude, once again, yeah. Hope he never sees this.
No, yeah. But dude, check out my stroke of insight. Just watch the video. That shit was eye-opening for me. Because I was very much like you, kind of like, what the fuck? And then you saw the blind people going bowling. And then I watched this video, and then like seeing people in wheelchairs and stuff. And it's like, man, like it could be worse, bro.
Dude, and I feel like I can like beat it. Like that's like not beat it like just because I feel like even when I'm like going to work out and like sweating and like just dieting, like I feel like as an individual, and I wanted to know if you ever got this way too, but I just feel like you can work through it and like do aggressive stuff to like live a better, healthier life. You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
Like, did you ever get to that point where you were like crazy chasing the fitness journey?
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. Yeah, definitely. And even now, I've kind of backed off the weights, but I do like a shitload of zone 2 cardio because there's been so many studies that have shown like that's very effective for like keeping blood pressure down, keeping your, mentally young and things like that. But you saying that's reminding me of my grandma here in a little bit. And she's from a very, very big family, like 8 kids. She was by far the most unhealthy one. So she went to the doctor's office at the youngest age. And in by being proactive and being like kind of shook when she was young, she's had the most proactive care for the longest term. And she's outlived all of them. And she's the oldest one, and she's the only one alive. So I think kind of getting shook medically when you're young is almost an advantage because it shows you, like I was saying earlier, that like you are mortal and you should take your health seriously. So as you age, instead of just, drinking fucking 30 beers and then doing shotguns of Monster in the morning to wake up, like you're going to take your health a little bit more seriously, and you're going to have much better long-term outcomes because of it.
Dude, this has forever shaped my like eating. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
you're probably way healthier now, right?
like, yeah, I've lost like 15 pounds.
Right?
I'm
Yeah,
not
man.
even trying to lose weight, dude. I'm just like, dude, like, let's just, it's
Let's
just
be
do this
healthy.
journey. And then, like, even if I do like 100% recover, like, it's still something to where, like, I'm not willing to, at least right now, when I said I'm not willing to go like that hard with work anymore. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
willing to travel to Dallas every other week. Like, I'm just
just
not
not worth
willing to
it,
do
right?
these things. And
Yeah.
so, like, that's been a, they say everything happens for a reason, but I truly believe like I was such a like a workaholic in my company that
Mm,
like it's almost like this happened to like let other people like step up.
yeah,
Like,
totally.
that's a really fucked up way to think about it. But well, I do that, and for some reason we've been going to church every Sunday. Like,
Nice.
that's also like
Kind of
that's actually
helping.
really worked, because you're just
Yeah.
like, if you engage into that, I wanted to know too. I don't know your religion or spiritualness, but I
Mhm.
mean, for some reason, like, I'm able to connect to that without fully believing in it.
Yeah.
That's been really weird too.
I think it's like the power of the church, man. I grew up in the church and got out of it when I joined the military, but since kind of getting injured, I've pivoted a lot like more towards kind of like I don't want to say like spirituality without sounding like cheesy and cliche, but like just trying to be more connected to a higher power. I went to a local church here and I just didn't like the pastor, but I know what you mean, man. Like it feels like to feel connected with a higher being, whatever religion that is for you or for anybody. I think it's a crucial part of like the wheel, you know what I mean? That is us. Like I think if you malnourish that one part, you're gonna feel a little clunky through life. Whether that's going to church, going to walks, meditating, whatever the fuck it is for you, like leaning in and doing that. I found it to be super helpful. With for me, it's like mindful walks with my dog and like journaling and like I read a lot of Stoic philosophy and like that shit hits, dude. Like Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It sounds really like academic, bro. It's like you read a paragraph and you're just like smacked with like some ancient wisdom. And you're like, damn, I needed that reality check.
I'm writing all this down, dude. You're
It was so good, bro. It was so. I'll send you an email with some like other books that are just fucking bangers.
dude.
Um,
I've been reading. I haven't read a book in my entire life. I've probably read 5 books in the past like 3 weeks. Like, dude, it's
yeah,
just,
another upside here, right?
dude. I don't know if that's an upside.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it is something, man, because it's weird how it changes you. But something that took me a while to realize is what I was saying earlier too. Is like thinking you're not going to be as good as you once were is worse off than whatever deficits are here or not here. You know what I mean? Because that's gonna fucking just gonna handicap you, dude.
No, I know, because like that's like the hardest one to like get rid of, is like to stop in that, especially as like a previous business owner. Like, the business is successful, and like, you have moments that happen. It's like, we just had a project manager who decided he's going to start his own company, which that shit happens, and
Yeah.
he stole literally $4 million in projects from us. And I'm like,
Fuck,
you know,
dude.
the thought this happens is like, well, that wouldn't have happened to me if I was perfect, right?
Oh
And,
yeah,
and so like that is the toxicity that keeps chasing me, is like stuff like that.
for
And
sure.
so like, when meetings don't good, when business doesn't go good, it's just like, that's the blame, right?
Yeah, it's facts.
So that's, I don't know how you do that with therapy, but I know that's something to work through.
Yeah. Well, it's hard, man. You know, it's really hard because like right now I feel a little dizzy and like I can get in my head about it, or I could just be like, yeah, and you know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
I can see you. I'm tall, I'm in America, I make good money, I've got a beautiful fiance. I'm fucking alive at 31. Like, dude, a lot of people didn't make it this far, man.
Is it? But I wanted to. Is this the same fiance that went through the injury with you?
Yeah,
How has she been through this?
dude, so supportive, man. Yeah, super, super supportive. She's been probably similar to your lady in the sense that like she's kind of tired of hearing about it. You know what I mean? Like even now, I'll like run ideas through her and she's like, babe, just like fucking like it's been 6 years now. Like chill, dude. Like it's okay. Like it's okay. But yeah, dude, immensely supportive, immensely helpful, kind of my rock and my pillar throughout all of it. Um, You know, and it's interesting because like prior to her, I was dating her. You know, I was a young, fresh out of the Marine Corps pilot, 6'5" in Portland, great shape, just dude, just crushing it with the ladies. And my plan was just to fly internationally and just be a bachelor and live that lifestyle. And then I started dating her and then had that issue. And then I was like, fuck yeah, I'm back. And then got beat down again. And I don't know if we'd be together without this. And it's not necessarily like a trauma bonding thing, but it's like our lives would have gone in different directions had this not happened. And since this happened, it's kept us together. And I've been able to, like, instead of just chasing the next shiny object, like it's forced me to take it slow, be appreciative. The grass isn't always greener. And like just to like really fully be in the moment and be appreciative. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, I keep talking on and on, dude. But yeah, she's been immaculate.
That's crazy. She stayed with you just even as like the girlfriend status. Like I got a 7-year-old with mine, so it's like
A little harder to run.
yeah, like you can't. That is tough too. Like we have that barrier, so it's like you can't really let this phase out on him. Like you can't really
Right. Yeah, he
on.
doesn't want to hear it, man. Yeah.
And then those are breaking points too. Like I heard him yesterday tell his friend like his friend was like, "Why doesn't your dad like come play this anymore?" And he was like, "Because my dad has a brain injury," and like
Oh.
that fucked me up. Like that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
But dude, I honestly could talk to you till like probably midnight.
Well, I got nothing going on, dude. Fiance's up in Alaska. I'm just kicking it, man. We can keep chatting unless you got something to run off to.
Why she in Alaska?
She's a wedding photographer. She's up there shooting a wedding.
Wow, that's cool. So
I know.
a good one.
Yeah, I know, right? I know.
So surprised she stayed with you through like the therapy and stuff. Yeah. Like, isn't that remarkable?
Dude, it's so remarkable, bro. So remarkable. And we didn't get engaged until 5 years in our relationship. And I was like, I made her really wait too. So, but yeah, we're getting married next month. So pretty excited about that. But
Congrats.
Yeah, we were dating. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. We were probably dating 6 months and it happened. And she just stuck with me. And I'm like, fucking solid. Like you're here for the long haul. I love it.
Did she go to all your like doctor's appointments and stuff with you?
Yeah.
Dude, that's an OG right there. Mine doesn't, but it's probably for the best. Like she did the beginning, and then now it's just like I'd make her go to like the major ones.
Right.
Not the stupid shit where I just keep chasing it.
Right.
I'm not gonna have her watch me in an oxygen chamber.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a line, right? Like you don't have to every line.
But go onto the brain and spine. I was like, you probably should be at that one because this guy alleges to do like brain and spine. Like I haven't seen a doctor yet who says they do both. So
totally
curious about that. But yeah, no, man, that does play a part in it. It's just like, man, like if I don't get this under control, is like, you feel like you're just gonna push these people away.
Totally, man. Totally.
That's a hard thing to kind of deal with.
And I think it's like you should totally like lean on your family and like your friends and everything and like for support. But like also it's tricky to not, I don't want to say become a victim, but kind of become a victim. You know what I mean? Like kind of just wrapped up in it and like it's all consuming and like it's just becomes this focal point in your life and you almost forget to live. You're so focused on healing. And then you push people away and before you know it, you're like, what the fuck? Like I'm alone and miserable and I feel like shit. And I know Kendra and I, so her name's Kendra, my fiance, and are still together now. But like, dude, it was rough, bro. Like we broke up. I pushed her away. I was a shithead. I was not like physically abusive, but like verbally, because I was just super fucking hurt. And like she was just the only one nearby, and it was like a verbal punching bag. And like I'm not proud about that. But yeah, man. I mean, you're only 3 months in, bro. Like, and you're already getting better, man. So I would say, like, I think from like a long-term potential, whatever these fucking voodoo doctors are telling you, even without their help, I think you'll be fine. I think it'll be better. I think it'll be great, dude. Like, watch my stroke of insight, and like, if this chick can come back from that, I'm gonna be fine.
Well, that's where like even having this meeting, man, it's almost like yes, I got those 2 appointments I got to do obviously this week and a brain MRI coming back, but
yeah,
as we know, those probably don't show anything.
Right.
I'm gonna do your list, and then I kind of what I told myself internally is like that's it, like wrap a bow on it and get back to normal because like there's nothing else you can do, and that's I'm speaking to 6 years of proof of that.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing to accept, man. Because it's like I was like you, you know, I went to all these fancy hospitals and spent all this money, and like, did it make a difference? Maybe, but like I didn't feel it. And I think the only real difference it made for me was knowing that it wasn't going to make a difference. And I think, dude, like my experience is so much more traumatic, man. Like going into brain surgery and all of that, like that was,
Your sounds awful. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like watching, I was like, oh, thank God this guy had it way worse.
dude, like it was so
I,
fucked up, man.
I
Like it was,
cannot imagine having surgery and then someone damaging me after that. I'd be so pissed. I'd
and
be
like I tried to sue the hospital, and then the lawyers were like, "Do you have any proof?" No, because nobody came to the bathroom with me. Like, what the fuck? Like, no, I have no proof. Like, that's the whole point.
and you have like an invisible injury that they can't
Yeah,
like physically see.
yeah. So I was, yeah, dude, a lot of trauma, a lot of hate there, a lot of evil thoughts went through my head for a while, but I
I
did.
mean, dude, I mean, to be honest though, like even from this, man, you're making guys like me feel better. Like,
I appreciate it. Yeah,
like that's very comforting. And like even like being on the right trajectory, like even everyone's different, man. Just getting this advice and keeping people away from just chasing the fucking endless journey.
yeah,
Like if I don't, if think about it, if I didn't have this video chat, like I'm probably days away from doing cognitive FX.
right. Yeah, sinking 26K into a 2-week camp.
She keeps following up with me, like you in.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
like
sure
this.
she gets commission, bro. I'm sure she does.
Luckily, man, like you just know what salespeople look like. You're just like, that's a car salesman. Like that's what that is.
Well, it's nice you're a business owner, and I'm in sales now, but before I wasn't in sales, and dude, I was a sucker. I was a sucker, bro. And like
Oh,
they're
dude, like he's sending a 70-page pamphlet. Like, get the fuck, come on, man. Like, even
yeah,
like the practitioner I had like the screen thing with, man, he was just it was very vague, very robotic. So
yeah. Reading a script, man.
that's what they did. Yeah, it was, dude. So, anyways, man, I greatly appreciate all this. You have no idea. I'm probably gonna follow up with you just to let you know like this journey.
Yeah, please do. Please do, Dylan.
You want to do like a recap?
Let's do it, bro. Yeah. Let's touch base probably after my wedding and we'll figure something out. But yeah, let's dude, shoot me a text or give me a call later this week and let me know how the hormones and everything went, man.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, well, I appreciate it, Evan, man. Enjoy your night, and like I said, I'll let you know how this kind of progresses.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, Dylan. We'll talk soon, man. You have a good night.
All right, later, Evan.
All right, bye. Wow. Talk about a lot to unpack. Guys, that was an absolutely beautiful video we just knocked out this evening. If you'd also like to be on a podcast and talk with me and share your stories with others across the world, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm going to start spending more time in this podcast, getting this off the ground so that we can spread the word of positivity and hope and that your life's not over. Trust me, it gets better. And until then, take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.